Hello everyone, welcome to a Culture Cafe. Today is our Christmas special episode.
Yeah, and today we're joined by Sharon, who runs the Crown Plaza Hotel in Jiafeng Bay. And today we're going to talk about Christmas, how we've celebrated Christmas in the past, how we each between our three different countries celebrate Christmas, and some of our best Christmas memories, but also about what you can do this year to celebrate Christmas, because this year is a little bit special.
Yeah, it's different. But also, let's start with according to different countries we come from, right?
Yep.
And we'll see something like what Christmas traditions in your countries. So, Mikhail, maybe we
Should
can
I go
start.
first?
Yeah.
Oof. So, those of you who have watched our channel, and I think Sharon, you know that I'm from Denmark.
Yes.
And so we have our own sort of set of Christmas traditions and the way we do things. Actually, last week would have been roughly around the time where my family and I would have gone out to cut down our own Christmas tree, which is something we do every year for Christmas.
Yes.
And you mentioned the marzipan cookies earlier that our Consulate General is going to be making, these little cookie dough things that we make from this. It's almost pure sugar, pretty much. It's delicious and it's so good, but when you're done eating them, you really feel like you've maybe had a little bit too much.
But winter, we need some sugar.
We need it for winter, right?
some
It's okay.
Yeah.
And we bake tons and tons of cookies.
Yes.
Yes. Ridiculous amounts of cookies. I bet my mom, this very moment, unless she's working, is probably baking cookies at this moment. My whole family has been posting photos on Facebook recently, everyone just showing off their big collection of these cookies and marzipan and whatever. I'm just stuck over here going.
That's lovely. You can make these cookies at home as well, like that.
I actually, so we bought an oven recently for my apartment. So we're going to try and make some cookies maybe later.
Exact occasion.
Either over the weekend or sometime next week, just to try and see if we can do it. But I think Christmas for us, I'm sure it's the same in New Zealand. For us, it's like the biggest holiday of the year. Like in China, you have Spring Festival.
Yes.
For us, it's like Christmas because that's when you get to see your whole family.
Yes.
That's when everyone gets together. When you're a child, it's maybe more about the gifts than anything else.
Yeah.
But I think as you grow up, it's more just about being with your family and all these things you do. You go out for Christmas markets, you decorate the house and all these things. And you see family that you haven't seen for maybe the whole year because that's the time of year to do it.
Really make the effort. Yes.
Yeah. It's also why maybe in the long time that I've been in China, I haven't been home for Christmas except maybe twice. And I've been in China for 10 years. And I haven't been celebrating Christmas at home much.
Like that much, right?
Yeah.
How about Cheryl, from New Zealand, and how you used to spend Christmas time there?
Very, very much the same as Mikhail, but for us, it's Southern Hemisphere, so it's summer.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Bizarrely,
Different,
we do all the same things.
yeah.
And we very much follow very English tradition. We have a huge big dinner on Christmas Day, roast turkey and all the trimmings, just as we will have here. But of course it's often 28 or 30 degrees and it's sunshine and it's beautiful and everybody eats too much, so everyone has a sleep usually after. We eat and drink way too much, it's ridiculous, right? But because it's summertime, we'll often play cricket in the afternoon or go swimming or sit outside in the garden.
I remember, so I spent a semester studying high school in Australia. And so I came in the summer, which was like Australian winter. So I flew from a Danish summer to an Australian winter, which was still fairly warm.
Yes.
And then getting closer to December when we were home, the temperature started going up. And we all started thinking, how do these people do Christmas? There's no snow.
Yeah.
There is many of these, we drink hot chocolate and all these warm things to keep warm. But in Australia and New Zealand, you're just trying to stay cool.
Yeah, exactly. But we eat and drink all the same things, except probably not the hot drinks.
Yeah.
But all the same food, and so it's hot, so much better chance to drink lots of cold beer and wine and champagne.
It's
so
funny
all the cold
because
drinks are good.
Beer isn't in Denmark at least, beer isn't something that you associate with Christmas. Sure, you'll have a beer after dinner, but it's it's wine and mulled wine and all these things and something warm and hot chocolate and stuff. But a cold beer for Christmas is just a little off. But in Australia and New Zealand, it makes total sense because it is so warm.
Yeah, but all the same, I think predominantly same, and very much about family and people coming together and sharing. For us, because it's summertime, everything closes down virtually. So, and then everyone's on holiday and goes to the beach for a month. So,
that's I can imagine that's really different things.
It's
like
quite
right, like that is snowing and cold, warm indoors, and New Zealand like
really
just like
hot.
a hot, good time to go out. Right?
But your major celebration is still on the 25th, right?
Yes, predominantly, yes.
Yeah, because in Denmark it's all about the evening of the 24th.
Yeah.
That's where everything for us takes place.
So
that's
what
why
do you do Christmas Day?
Christmas Day we just recover.
Yeah, it's a hangover day,
Yeah,
right?
pretty much, because
Yes,
you've probably been staying up late. The kids have been playing with their toys all night. I remember a couple of years ago, my sister got a Nintendo Wii, the first one, where you could do all those sports games. So we hooked that up to the TV, and my
Played
dad
all
and I,
night.
we played until maybe 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
And we were just playing a baseball game, I think. It was just
We go to church on the eve?
Yes, sometimes.
Yes, yeah,
it
we
used to
do.
be a family tradition. My
Yes.
mom would drag us out of
Yes.
bed in the morning to go to a Christmas service in the morning. Yeah.
Yes.
And we were all like, oh, it's Christmas.
But it's often one time that everyone really does go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because in Denmark isn't a very sort of religious country. Like we're Protestant by sort of, that's like the adopted religion, but most Danish people will not go to church on a very regular basis. And I think it's also just in Protestant nature because we're forgiven no matter what, so we're fine. We don't have to go and do anything. But on Christmas, you see
it's more tradition, isn't it? I think Easter and often Christmas people go. Yeah.
Yeah, and
or
so you
make
see a
the
lot of
effort
people
together.
Yeah.
As
And
a
it's
family.
also, again, just to do something as a family.
Yes.
Like, not everyone perhaps agrees with going to sit in church for a couple hours, but it's nice just to do
Be
it every
together.
now and then. Yeah,
Absolutely, it's really special.
and it's a different kind of experience. Instead of, you could watch a movie, you could sit at home and have dinner, but when you sit in a church and a sermon, it's a different feeling.
And just being grateful for all the things that we may have had throughout the year, and being together and being able to have lots of food, and just remembering how lucky we really are.
Especially the lots of food part.
Yeah.
So like you know, like when you two actually has been staying in China for many years already, right? How do you notice like the Christmas atmosphere like in China like here?
Actually, many people embrace it.
Okay.
And you know, it's amazing to see all the decorations that go up everywhere.
Okay.
In the shopping malls, and the hotels, restaurants. But sometimes we reflect or wonder how much do people really know the meaning.
So I mean, like, because if we are sharing like how we celebrate, right? Like here, I think like in China, it's like I think Chinese people. I don't know whether you agree on that, which has the mentality of celebrate. You know.
Yes, they enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoy the celebration thing, and Christmas coming to like in China, it's like first this kind of celebrating elements like the red and the shining decorations and like this really nice. I think like it's meet like people's expectation.
Everyone loves it, right?
Yeah. Like this kind of, it feel kind of happy, you know, when you say this. So it meet people's expectation of like celebrating. There's occasion like for fun, right?
There's
like,
definitely a party going on.
A party, it's like kind of like a party, especially young people like to use this occasion as something going out, and also one of the part I think for Chinese men is like we'll give like a gift to each other like that for that part.
Yes.
For that part, it's I would think it's like maybe it's not like you really doing it for like this cultural background, like because you grow up with this kind of thing. In China, I think it's more like we see it as a day can. As long as you find an occasion, you know, to do the celebrate thing, then this is a good occasion. There's like a decoration, these things ready, and you decorate.
Really know the meaning.
Maybe not really that deep into the meaning, right? So people give gifts on this day, and also on like there's interesting phenomena. It's like an apple thing like going on, right? Because that's kind of a localization of that. I think it's like apple. They think. Apple in Chinese meaning there is called 苹果. 苹果 has something to do with like peace and safe like that. So they go combine the Chinese words with that day, like the how to say 平安夜. We have Christmas Eve in Chinese. So it's kind of localization people find to celebrate in somehow in this day. Yeah. So that's what you.
If
say.
you go on in supermarkets and on like Taobao and Jingdong, the price of apples skyrockets. right before Christmas, because there is a tradition for giving an apple to someone else, like a loved one or a family member or someone, to wish them sort of a happy and peaceful evening, but also a happy and peaceful year. So everyone starts giving apples to each other.
Yeah, but as the meeting, you know, like Sharon, you said it's a day actually for you, and like this is from appreciate, right? Be thankful for something. So I think like even some Chinese young people on this day giving some gift is also finding this chance to give the people you care, like this occasion as a kind of a day that you thinking about them and appreciating you, and it's
what we have. And
it's a day to give out. So I think in this aspect there are some, you know, meet some of the needs of people's mind.
I also feel like Chinese people are embracing it more and more.
Oh, definitely.
As time goes on. In the 10 years that I've been here, it used to be that when I remember one of the first years I was in China, celebrating Christmas by sitting alone in my apartment, because everyone was sort of out doing something, but there wasn't really anything for anyone to do, because your family isn't here, you don't have that many friends. I just arrived at the school I was working at. And it wasn't because they hadn't invited me or anything, but everyone was just sort of with like a larger group of friends, and I was the newcomer. I didn't have any sort of close friends. So I remember just...
It's awful.
It actually turned out to be not that bad. Because
it's strange, unusual.
A bit strange and unusual, like I took my camera, went out and I just photographed, because I could do that to calm myself down, so that was okay. But it was just... You recognize that whole, today is Christmas, and there is no tree, there is no roast pork, there isn't any duck, the Christmas tree is gone, and there's nothing in my apartment. There's no gifts, certainly, anywhere. And it was just a fun thing. And when you ask Chinese people about it, like my colleagues and my friends, they're like, Christmas, you know, we go shopping. Okay.
It's beginning of the years, right?
Yeah.
Now it's, I think, see the elements more and more like around.
Yeah, and like you said, not only have Chinese people sort of embraced sort of some of the ways of celebrating Christmas, but they're also sort of learning about what it is, where it comes from, even some of the religious backgrounds for why this holiday exists, which I find interesting, because Christianity isn't a very big thing here in China, but more and more people are sort of getting into the story behind Christmas, even teaching it in schools.
Getting
so when
to
I was
know
teaching, to understand like what Christmas is and why it's important to many people.
Foreign friends here to celebrate.
But I think as we grow and you know we live in these multicultural societies, we take so much more interest now in each other's holidays and traditions. You know, as we embrace Chinese New Year, and you know, people, you know, different friends here from different countries, and you know, people want to know more. You know, want to understand and respect their traditions and know more about them.
Yeah.
Another friend of mine that's here is Orthodox Christian, so their Christmas is actually 2 weeks after this traditional Christmas.
Yes.
And that's really interesting, and we like to honour that and respect that too, because it's just as important to them.
Yeah, it's like in this kind of Chongqing, also even around us, it's become more and more like international, diverse, and different cultures.
So many people, different cultures, different countries, different traditions.
So like embrace each other's and respect each other's background.
And learn, take the time to find out more about people's traditions and what they mean.
It's one of the reasons why I think I've also loved Chinese culture as much as I do, because I grew up with these traditional Western holidays, these Christian holidays based on events in the Bible.
Too,
and sort of over time, I was like, Easter, it's fine. We get days off. That's really all I care about. But when I started learning about the Chinese holidays and these legends and stories about them, for me, that made it so much more interesting. It's one thing that Spring Festival is Spring Festival, but when I learned about the history of, say, the Dragon Boat Festival and those festivals, like the meaning behind it, where they come from, the legends, the people, that took it to a whole new level for me. Because growing up, I was only really ever exposed to my own and what you saw from American movies, obviously. So I knew about Thanksgiving. And then the rest of those holidays are so similar to ours that it wasn't really anything new.
Actually, it's wonderful here because we do actually embrace and enjoy many. Talk about Thanksgiving. We had a huge Thanksgiving night here, and so many people embrace it now and enjoy it together. It was all different nationalities. It was a big group of Italians and you know people that, as they said, when they grew up, they didn't know Thanksgiving. So we're being very multicultural and interdenominational
I think also
sharing
just,
these things.
especially this year, we're also just taking every excuse we can to be social with other people.
To meet
like
together.
Any holiday that has sort of a gathering perspective, we're like, yes, let's learn about this. Let's
much
get
more
this show on the
than
road.
before.
Yeah.
Before people might have gone away and travelled.
Yeah, exactly.
We're here, so we're taking a lot more interest in each other, and
Yeah, I think after all, I mean, it's also about having the people together, right? Different festivals.
Any festival.
Yeah, festival is like have very positive, meaning energy in it, and the people just like benefit from that, come together and bring under the idea of the festival, and then just like make our life better, like with each other.
We have some Indian friends here, and a couple of weeks ago they had Deepavali. That's their festival of lights, and they share together and have a big dinner. So same sort of idea, just another different tradition.
Yeah, there's so many things going on, and I feel like you also learn to appreciate, especially in a year like this, you learn to appreciate social contact a lot more.
Yes.
Because I think everyone at some point has been like, oh man, I wish I could spend more time alone. I wish I could just be myself and be by myself and not have to worry about anyone else. Then this pandemic hits and you're forced to be by yourself, and now you're just craving social attention.
True. It's like when you see this kind of celebration and people come together, we just appreciate.
Yeah.
Make you
much
like
more.
we
We
feel
don't
really
take so
nice.
much for granted anymore.
Yeah.
We value these things.
Yeah, I feel that actually.
I think it's been in many ways it's been a very good lesson to all of us.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, almost like a bit of a reset, isn't it? Things that we just took for granted.
Yeah.
So some very deep, good lessons to be learned, I think.
Yeah, and also like for those like in Chongqing, right? Like let's say I just talked about like what general Chinese local young people what they will feel and what they will do on Christmas Day. But what if like some expats, for example, here, they really like spend very authentic Christmas, like in Chongqing. So how, like for you, for example, how you do that? How you celebrate that?
Well, I'm really happy to say we've got a big event here on Christmas Eve, which a lot of the Europeans will predominantly attend, and then we have Christmas Day lunch, which are more for the British-style countries, Australians, New Zealanders, British, and a lot of people also celebrate Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
Having said that, there's a lot of people coming to all, across all of them. And usually we do have a big Christmas event here, but typically there's only a handful of people left because most people leave. Most people go home. But this year, no one's going home and no one can really travel, and it's very difficult. A lot of people in their own countries are in lockdown at the moment, and there's very restrictions on flights and travel.
Yeah.
So most people we know, Michaela, all staying here, right, this year. So the nice thing is everyone's coming together. We're really going to make it a great time. We have a live band on Christmas Eve, and we're going to have a clown for the kids, and Santa Claus is coming. Oh, it's a secret. We normally have a Santa Claus here from Finland.
Yeah, I was there at the time.
Yes, but he can't get here this year, unfortunately.
They still claim to be the home of Santa Claus, don't
Yes,
they?
Lapland.
There are many countries that claim to be the home of Santa. So Finland claims that Santa Claus is from Finland.
I think it's Finland. I think it's Lapland. I'm sure.
Well, I would disagree because we're pretty sure the
we met the real man, didn't we? Honestly, he came here courtesy of Finnair.
Yeah.
And he was fantastic, and I have no doubts now he's from Lapland.
The Christmas town, right?
Yeah,
like
it was fantastic. Yeah.
Because in other places, like the Americans believe he's from the North Pole.
Well, that's Lapland. That's
Is
North Pole. Yeah.
Does that count?
They're way up there.
Oh, okay. Because in Denmark we believe he's from Greenland.
Oh, it's next door.
Next door,
It's
yeah.
all
So same area.
Yeah, same Arctic Circle.
But I think the Finns are like, Santa Claus is Finnish because he's in a territory owned by us. But we're like, no, Santa Claus is Danish because he's from Greenland. That's owned by us.
So you think he comes from Greenland?
That's what we grow up learning,
thinking, oh.
That's a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the original story of Santa Claus, I believe, is a saint from
Saint Nicholas.
Germany. Yeah.
Saint Nicholas. Yeah.
So there's all these different. It's fun how this one story has branched out in this
everywhere.
way. So everyone is sort of. No, it's mine.
Yeah. And you mentioned before about Christmas trees. Guido, the Italian Consul General, told me the other day a Christmas tree is a new thing in Italy only since the Second World War. They never used to have Christmas trees.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and only now since the Second World War.
Yeah.
Now, typically, we always have, we've been the only hotel in Chongqing that's had a real tree for years. And this year, because it's been a really special year, and we're very conscious of the earth and taking care of it and protecting it. So we didn't want to go out to the forest and chop down a tree this year, so we've built a tree from recycling our products and bottles and things.
I saw that now in the foyer,
Yes.
yeah.
So the concept and the thinking, I think, of my staff behind it's really important. This year we've thought a lot about the earth, haven't we? And what we're doing to the earth and the things that we should be taking care of. So we decided to have a recycled tree.
I have a different. That's the one already.
The one we
Yes,
showed downstairs.
yes.
Downstairs,
We made that
right.
ourselves.
Well,
yeah,
that's
out of
quite
recycling
impressive,
products.
actually.
It looks good.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love the colors.
It's very
Yes,
impressive.
yes. So
Very sort of, you walk in like,
Yeah.
ooh.
yeah, we just felt it wasn't the right time this year to go out and
Yes.
forest and chop down a tree. We need to preserve a lot of things.
Where
and-
would you get the trees from?
They come from outside Chongqing,
Oh,
and
right.
it's we have to go to a special company, and they're usually beautiful and they smell gorgeous, and
Yeah.
they drop their pine needles everywhere.
I used to, as a child, I would take the pine needles and I would hold them over a candle and start burning them. Because that just
Smell,
spread
the
the smell in the
smell,
whole
yes.
house.
What gift you already prepared? Maybe
Also
for someone
surprise.
special?
Usually it's a surprise.
Oh, it's a
Usually.
surprise.
Surprise.
So,
You can't
but-
speak about it too loudly.
okay,
Right.
but you did prepare something already, maybe,
yes,
right?
yes,
For
definitely.
the
Yeah.
ones that you want to give, right?
Yeah.
And another great tradition like we do here every year in the office is a secret Santa. And everybody pulls a name out of a hat, and you have a value, and you have to buy a present for that person, and it has to, no one can see you putting it under the tree, and no one can ever know who it's from. And then on Christmas morning we give the gifts.
Oh yeah,
It's a lot of fun.
I
Lots of companies
experienced
do
that.
this too, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, did you?
I experienced that when I was work in Poland.
Poland. Ah.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, usually the kid sometimes, even like me, like they need to ask to go out.
Yeah.
And when the
No one
Christmas
should see
tree
you.
was there, right? And then there's no gift at
Yeah.
the beginning.
That's right.
And then
slowly, day by day, there's more and more, right?
Yeah, and then there's like suddenly like
Whole pile.
Yeah.
whole house, and
Yes.
I really appreciate that kind of way that you make the things so interesting. You know, like for
And it doesn't have to be expensive. You know, usually there's a set value on it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not the idea.
that's nice. I think the idea is really like cool, really cool,
Yeah.
and I think it's like that's why
It's
many
nice, it's
kids
fun.
also like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
even in
Big
China.
kids like it. Tell us about Christmas in Poland.
In Poland, right? Like
Yeah.
I was quite appreciate like I feel so deeply about what Sharon said on this day that you share like your love and your appreciation to people, right? Back in Poland during Christmas, maybe like sometimes make you feel okay. I'm a foreigner there, right? I do not usually celebrate Christmas. I
Yes.
celebrate Spring Festival. So on that day, I was expecting that everybody is like celebrating at home, it's family gathering, right? So I was thinking, yeah, I may be alone, just do my own things. I don't mind that, it's okay,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
But you know, when you're abroad and single and there and the other people are close doors and celebrating, right?
Everyone else is celebrating.
Yeah, you will feel something, but the good thing, you know, is like I was there 3 years, and each year I got friends like invite me
sure.
to their home, you know, like
How lovely.
so you feel like you are part of it.
Yes.
You are part of the
Family,
celebration,
the
the family.
family,
That's really a great part about it.
I think
yeah.
that's very much Western tradition. We hate to think that somebody's on their
Yeah.
own, especially at Christmas. And often people will invite neighbours that are maybe older people that are on their own, widowed or without
Yeah.
family, and you invite everyone in because you hate to think that somebody's on their
Oh,
own.
Yeah,
I
and
see.
sometimes, you know, scheduling just doesn't add up. So if you have like a
Yes.
distant friend or a family member
Yeah.
who's supposed to be with some
Somewhere,
other family and
that's
something
right.
happened and they can't, you just say,
That's
come over to our
right.
house.
That's
Yeah.
really
There's always room for
Always
one
for
more.
more,
Yeah.
absolutely.
yeah, and
Always enough food too,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, it's always good, even like it's not in my culture background really to celebrate Christmas every year, but when I was there and I got invited, you feel the people's warmth to you. I think that's the kind of
Lovely.
positive.
Yeah.
Okay. that's the positive energy that they give us. You know, I think that's most important part. Like the festival gives some positive energy to
it's giving to others.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's a big thing, isn't it, Mikhail? It's giving, not receiving.
Yeah.
For us, that's really important.
Yeah.
As a child, it was more about the receiving.
Yeah, when you're
But
little,
then as you get older, it's more about giving.
More important to give.
Yeah, like on the table, there's always like
too much
a lot of food, and you just feel really cool,
food,
really feel nice.
And
like
you eat too much and you drink too much. And
yeah, I was said like it's always good to be part of the celebration. Like really, it's nice.
Xiao, how do you think you will be celebrating Christmas this year? Because
This year,
I think Sharon and I know roughly how we're celebrating, and I think most Western viewers will know roughly what we're doing. But I'm interested in hearing how you will celebrate Christmas.
Well, previous years, I know that Sharon, because the Crown Plaza here is very good location near the Jiefang Bay monument, right? Previous years, there are many young people will gather together and and balloons and all out. That is so amazing. And I did attend before, like this when people gathering. It's really nice and have like all the balloons fly to the sky like that at night. But this year, I think this big gathering will not happen. I think so. I don't think it will happen really like this year. So I will take my plan just from what Sharon just really explained about. Also, we feel about the positive energy that festival should give us, right? We should take it from it. It's like I want to prepare some gifts to the people who are important, I think, to me. And I want to just like take this occasion to say thanks. Yes. Like that.
Just to show that you care and you appreciate them in your life.
So that's a basic thing I think I will do. Just like take the occasion to say thanks to the people I care.
But what will you eat?
What I will eat? Ooh.
Because food is like an inseparable part of Christmas for us.
I want to share with the family about the turkey dinner. Like I did try because the other years I was in some banquet, right?
Oh, turkey is.
But do they have deliveries maybe?
Yes, we can order from us.
Oh, really? Okay,
absolutely.
Is it like whole big thing, or you have to order like whole big,
no,
right?
You probably could have a half.
Okay.
Definitely, yes.
Okay, I will check.
A lot of people do because they're not easy, as they're not easy to cook.
Cook by ourselves, I know.
It's hard to cook.
Yeah. The gravy is another.
The cranberries.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
So I was thinking maybe it's possible can order some food like this, turkey like this, and share with my family. Like for example, I know kind of some tradition and also what people eat. I just want to like my
teach
friends maybe know kind of more, so they will understand stories behind it. Is always good.
It's also one way of showing appreciation by just sharing something that is different. Yeah, something new.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly. So I was thinking about that actually.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
I like that.
And you sure like this year?
Yes. Well, I think we're going to be really busy this year because everyone's here. So it's going to be a really different Christmas, isn't it? I think for a lot of people all over the world, and there's so many families that are separated and no chance to get together. So I think it's going to be lots of phone calls, lots of FaceTime. And people will want to be together because they are separated.
Yeah.
So going to
just be together in any way that they can.
Absolutely, and with friends because we're not with our families so far away.
Yeah. I was wondering, Sharon, are there any particular dishes that are traditional Christmas dishes in New Zealand? Because I know in Denmark we have a couple that we only eat for Christmas, and if you eat them at any other time of year, it's a little bit strange.
Typically, mothers and grandmothers will make beautiful Christmas cakes.
Right.
Big fruit cakes, usually only at Christmas. Everything else we have pavlova, special dessert, but we do eat that many other times of the year. We have lots of strawberries because they're in season and it's summertime. That's very traditional. Strawberries and cherries.
I head around that whole summer thing.
Yes, but nothing I think as unique as you guys.
Okay. Because in Denmark we eat roast pork. That is exclusively for Christmas. You can have it if you want to during the year, but it
don't typically.
You can cook it perfectly, but if you do it in summer, it's just strange.
Doesn't feel right. Yeah.
And then we have this special dessert that it's rice boiled in milk, and I think it takes like 4 to 6 hours to cook.
That's delicious.
Which is like a rice pudding.
That's delicious.
And it's so good. And you can eat.
It's got like a cherry jam in it, isn't it?
You can add that to it, if you want to. So what we do is that we cook it in the evening. We can eat it hot, and then you can reheat it the next day or eat it cold, and then you add a hot cherry sauce on top of it.
Very nice. Yeah, that's lovely.
Food, we
Actually, chef can make that.
So that is wrapping up on our Christmas special for our Culture Cafe, talking about Christmas and our traditions and how we have celebrated Christmas, and especially how we're going to be celebrating Christmas this year. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm really hungry. All the talk about food and gifts and stuff, it's good because I haven't had much of a Christmas spirit up until now, but I'm starting to feel it.
Now you're
this
getting
room
into
especially with the trees and decorations.
Yeah.
So it's always lovely to be around you, Sharon. You bring such lovely energy to everything that you do.
Well, it's lovely to have you here, and let's enjoy together this special time. And you're right about the meaning and the sharing and the friendship and the love and looking after each other.
Yeah.
So it's the end of the year. It's the time actually that would come.
And what a year!
Yeah.
What a year we've had, guys! What a year!
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good time to take to really rethink about to reflect. Yeah. And
we appreciate and
and just make the best out of the
what
time
we
that's
have,
left,
and
so we can still go out with a bit of a bang.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's a time like Merry Christmas,
Merry
right?
Christmas.
Merry
Merry
Christmas
Christmas.
to our audience
Merry
also.
Christmas.
And we will see you in the
Next year. Oh.
Next year.
Yeah. Oh.
In the next episode next year.
Hey.
We'll see you.
Next year.
All right. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.